Hello, I see it's time again to get a briefing out to you. I'm Lou from Dirigo Safety. Let's get started. These roll calls to you provide some information from these past few weeks that you might not have yet heard of. They are designed to be short and focused on the areas of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Northern Mass policing areas. I see that the National Rifle Association, or the NRA, has announced its cooperative support for range development and law enforcement training through the new NRA Law Enforcement Range Fund. Listen to this. This program was established as a matching grant program to encourage city, county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies to work with the NRA on efforts to build and improve law enforcement ranges across the United States. So eligible public law enforcement agencies can apply to this program to build new law enforcement ranges or for the maintenance, security, and upgrades of existing law enforcement firearm training ranges at cities, counties, state, or the federal level. Law enforcement firearm ranges that are or will be utilized by multiple law enforcement agencies will be given greater consideration. Full information on this law enforcement grant program and other available range grants are online, and you can copy and paste the link on the slide for more information. I also want to thank and recognize our emergency dispatchers and 911 call takers as we celebrate National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. The York, Maine Emergency Communications Center reminds us to take a moment to recognize the unsung heroes of our community. These dedicated individuals are the first responders behind the scenes, ensuring help reaches all of us when most needed. From handling emergency calls to dispatching assistance, they are our lifeline in times of crisis. Their quick thinking, calm demeanor, and expertise saves lives every day. I'm grateful, and I thank you for your pivotal role in keeping us safe. Speaking of emergency dispatches, I just attended the New Hampshire Emergency Dispatchers Conference. I met some wonderful professionals there, including many who serve multiple towns as dispatchers, handling the calls for the police, fire departments, EMS, public works, and so on. I was amazed at the level of dedicated people committed to publicly serving their communities. At the time when I was thinking about all the energy and wellness needed to meet such demands of our professionals, I came across a booth at the conference staffed by support leaders such as those from Camp Resilience. This totally free retreat right here in New Hampshire also serves Maine, Vermont, and Massachusetts professionals as well, and helps first responders and their loved ones recover and maintain their physical, psychological, and emotional well-being. These are free and are 3 to 4 day retreats that combine peer-to-peer counseling, life skill workshops, and outdoor experiential learning. Camp Resilience strives to provide attendees with the tools to develop self-improvement goals and sustain ties to their community. The retreats stress the importance of camaraderie and wellness in fostering resilience. Look them up because there's another one starting May 14th. There's some nice research out there about the effectiveness of youth outreach programs by the police departments, especially when it comes to effective recruitment. The think tank, Rand Corporation, conducted nationwide research that showed the effectiveness of youth programs such as police cadets, explorer groups, internships, and job shadowings. The report is a startling new point for law enforcement, public safety officials, educators, and program staff who are considering launching a new program or improving an existing one, with advice from interviews with a cross-section of programs. It also includes a searchable database of existing programs of all types. There is a direct link of success of agencies having these programs embedded in their departments and then finding suitable candidates when these youth reach employable ages. I know many of you watching this briefing are in agencies that use these programs, especially the Explorer posts, and this research may help to justify continuance or perhaps expansion. So the police in the town of Sutton, Massachusetts, about 10,000 residents, made an unusual discovery while searching for drugs in a vehicle in a parking lot of a local Red Roof Inn hotel. Nice work to Detective Alex Sinney, who was doing some surveillance on a suspicious vehicle, and while talking with the driver, Detective Sinney saw items typical of illegal drug use. During the subsequent search, he also located an M190 U.S. Army rocket launcher. Luckily, the weapon turned out not to be loaded, but not before I am sure those on scene were quite surprised. Reminds us all about being prepared and well-trained to handle even these types of unusual calls in all our communities, even the smaller ones. Dangerous police work happens everywhere, and all need to be ready. In Maine, lawmakers there almost 3 years ago hope to transform how they deal with teenagers who break the law by passing a bill aimed at closing the state's only youth prison and expanding rehabilitation programs for adolescents. Maine is working to send fewer teenagers to prison. Now Maine has become a possible example about these types of reforms. Although Maine sends far fewer adolescents to its youth prison now, the state hasn't made strides to bolster how it holds accountable and supports diverted youth in the rest of the juvenile justice system, or those convicted but not going to juvenile prison. This is allowing a chronic problem to persist, according to a report by the New York Times and the Bangor, Maine Daily News. So alternatives to the juvenile facility are few, and there is a severe shortage of community-based intervention programs intended to catch delinquency early. This is especially true in different parts of the state. For example, services that help steer adolescents away from the juvenile justice system to begin with are not offered in the northern rural Aroostook County. The wait list for behavioral health programs can reach 200 days. Officers have issued multiple criminal summons to the same teens without seeing any meaningful outcomes. While we are in Maine, lawmakers there are enacting a slew of gun bills after the October 25th mass shooting in Lewiston that left 18 people dead and another 13 injured. The House of Representatives followed the Senate on Monday in approving the governor's omnibus gun safety bill that strengthens the state's yellow flag law. Yellow flag laws are measures that restrict access to firearms for people who are considered a danger to themselves or to others. The bill will also boost background checks for private sales of guns. It funds violence prevention initiatives and opens a mental health crisis receiving center in Lewiston. There will also be waiting periods for gun purchases and a ban on bump stocks. The state has a strong hunting tradition and an active lobby aimed at protecting gun owner rights, so these initiatives are being met with some resistance, with Maine voters rejecting universal background checks for firearms as early as in 2016. The New Hampshire Attorney General is warning residents about scammers targeting them by posing as Medicare to get identifying information. Perhaps something in your area as well and worthy of an announcement from your agency. I see that 2 Massachusetts men have been arrested by Salem police for stealing more than $100,000 in a gunpoint armed robbery in February. One of the suspects was a student at Rivier University and is being accused of helping to tie up the manager of the Heaven's Smokes and Vape World shop before stealing the money and other merchandise. Well done, Sabattis, Maine, for being the latest department to achieve the coveted MLEAP Accreditation Award. Boston just had their marathon road race, but this image from the Tewksbury police on the bottom right-hand side of them at the marathon race reminds me that it needs many officers from many agencies to provide the security and safety for those running and attending at these big events. I also understand that we are recognizing our animal control officers this upcoming week, and so an early shout out to Animal Control Officer Crystal Crandall of the Brattleboro, Vermont Police to get the week started. I noticed some interesting training from the Cambridge, Mass. Strategies for Youth. Farmington, Maine Police will host their Policing the Teen Brain training on May 14th through the 15th. This training is designed to reduce teen conflict with police, de-escalation techniques, improved communication skills, and using developmental competence to work with the teens. The Manchester, New Hampshire Police have gone live with their interactive crime board. This internet-linked dashboard tracks and makes public crime data, such as the number and reported locations of property crimes, violent crimes such as those involving a gun, as well as their solvability and arrest rates. Well, that's it for now. I hope you like and subscribe to these. If you have something noteworthy to pass along, reach out to me. I want to hear from you and to have you part of our future roll calls. Use the QR code in the bottom left-hand corner to let us know what you think of these. I'm enjoying your feedback and advice, so please keep it coming. Until next time, I'm Lou. I hope all is well. Now let's get to work.